For shame, deny that thou bear'st love to any, who for thyself art so unprovident. Grant, if thou wilt, thou art beloved of many, but that thou none lov'st is most evident. For thou art so possessed with murderous hate, that 'gainst thyself thou stick'st not to conspire, seeking that beauteous roof to ruinate, which to repair should be thy chief desire. Ah! Change thy thought, that I may change my mind. Shall hate be fairer lodged than gentle love? Be as thy presence is, gracious and kind, or to thyself at least kind-hearted be. Make thine another self for love of me, that beauty still may live in thine or thee. That was sonnet number 10. This one has a lot of, well, at least a few new things that I think are kind of interesting. The end specifically, he actually starts talking about himself, and he removes the argument from a theoretical realm, philosophical realm, and says do it for me, man. Do it because I'm asking you to. Me, a human, I'm asking you to. And so that, I think, is the first kind of new thread in terms of uncovering details about the relationship between Shakespeare and the Fair Youth, because up till now it's kind of always been posed at him here's this good argument for you to do this thing, here's this second good argument for you to do this thing, and it's never been personal. It's always been framed in, well, this is what the world is going to be losing out on if you don't have kids. So I thought that was kind of cool. Although, it's what's interesting that is the final pitch that he makes. He makes it personal as opposed to philosophical, because I struggled a little bit with putting my finger on what the motivation for this sonnet is. It's the beginning. The scansion is really weird. First off, there's multiple falling words, at least in terms of how they're normally pronounced. Any, many, those don't go up typically, those go down. Many, any. Then there's conspire and desire end lines as well, and took some adjusting. It was difficult to figure out the flow to those lines. That third line, third or fourth, but that thou none lov'st is most evident was really weird. It does not really, I don't know. I'm saying this with all little authority I have. I'm saying that the normal iambic pentameter of ba-dump, 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 ba-dump just doesn't work with that. It really just doesn't. It's one of the weirdest lines I'd come across, and it was difficult to memorize in that sense because it was like, but it was just very choppy, and so that informs the emotional space that the speaker's occupying. You're wrought, there's frustration, there's conflicts of feelings as opposed to one unified thought, and so that was a struggle at first, but it ended up really nicely motivating the turn at the end of be as thy presence is, gracious and kind. He completely turns it around and just it's so simple. It's you are really nice to be around. In a way that is not, it's not super flowery, it's just simple. It's nice to be around you. So do it for me. And that kind of last lifeline of do it for me got my brain thinking, it got it worrying philosophically. And because it's interesting because on the one hand, I feel like telling the fair youth, like, it doesn't even matter what you think. Like, don't even, just do it for me. Do this thing for me. And I don't care what you think about it. It's like, I don't really agree with that, Billy. Like, if the fair youth doesn't want to have kids, it's his life, man. It's his life. Try to understand his motivations and don't just call him, masturbatory or, idiotic or what, there can be reasons for not wanting certain things in life. And it's kind of selfish to be like, well, you're so awesome. You owe it to leave this for us. And it's like, it's framed that way. It sounds like it's like, no, I'm being selfless. This is for the purpose of the world and not me. But it's like, well, we're all autonomous beings. And at the end of the day, it's only going to be our decision. I guess it's two people's decisions, typically, if you're going to have kids. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's a very selfish thing to do. I'm realizing it's a very selfish thing to do, to tell someone to have kids. It's like the most life-changing thing you can do is create another life. Like, so that's where my mind ended up going at the end of that sonnet, but it was really nice. I didn't like it as much at the beginning, but I came to enjoy it more at the end. So that was fun. Sonnet 11 next week. Ugh.